Hello, welcome to a video discussing the late slate for the Thursday, April 13th, 2017 games on DraftKings. So obviously we're doing a baseball tournament here, and this is Gus Almashini from Advanced Sports Analytics. And we're going to talk about two pitchers as well as one stack, kind of keep it simple, given that there's only a few games for the late slate tonight. So we're going to start with Madison Bumgarner, clearly and arguably the best pitcher out there for the evening. His history against the Rockies is pretty good. I mean, there are some hitters that have hit him pretty hard, like Carlos Gonzalez, 18 for 56 with 5 homers. Nolan Arenado, 7 for 33, not a great batting average, but a couple homers. But overall, Bumgarner's done fine. The interesting thing when you look at your numbers against Colorado is you have to see if those numbers were in Colorado or at your home stadium. And of course, if we take a look at that split, you can see highlighted, this is the splits for the last 3 seasons. Bumgarner's record against the Rockies, regardless of location, is solid. 10 games started, 2.87 ERA, 69 innings pitched, 74 Ks, 16 walks, which is a pretty solid strikeout to walk ratio. But here's where it gets more interesting. Look at Bumgarner's numbers in Coors Field. Not bad, 3.46 ERA, 26 innings pitched, giving up 10 earned runs, 301 batting average. Clearly those numbers are higher than they are against just Colorado in general. So one would imagine that the numbers in San Francisco against Colorado are going to be even better. Also given the fact that it's about low 50s in San Francisco with a pretty high air density index, and also the lowest run total of the evening for at 6.5 by Vegas sportsbooks, we could really see a strong game from Bumgarner tonight. In fact, if you do a little bit of simple math, 43 innings pitched against the Rockies at AT&T Park with only 12 earned runs. So if you do the math quickly, that does come out to ERA. That's about 2.4, 2.5. So definitely Bumgarner is a good start, even though he's expensive against the Rockies at AT&T Park. And we've seen his distribution before in some earlier videos. Very tight, very consistent. High density with average DraftKings fantasy points per $1,000 salary at about 2 to 2.5. Given that he's going for $12,500, multiply that by 2, and we are looking at a 25-plus point game, hopefully, from Bumgarner tonight. The other pitcher we can go to is a younger pitcher, Robert Gsellman, I think that's how you pronounce it, from the Mets. The Mets seem to have a knack for these tall, long-haired aces. These Thor type, just like Syndergaard. Not much history that Gsellman's had against the Marlins, or just not much history at all in the big leagues, but he's done pretty well so far. The one thing that's interesting to note is that his ground ball to fly ball ratio last year was pretty solid, so he's not letting the ball fly as often as other pitchers do, which is important because the Marlins have been hitting the ball well lately, and you want to be able to have more ground balls, hopefully. And Gsellman's DraftKings fantasy points to $1,000 salary, which you can find on the ASA website, is really good. You do see a lot of area to the right of 2.5 for the ratio, and pretty significant area when it's greater than 5. So he could be a very good value, especially at $7,000. And also, what you can find on the ASA website are probabilities for certain players. And Bumgarner obviously has got the best. Gsellman is 5th. Not sure if I would take Ray, even though that could be a pitcher's duel in San Francisco. You could, if you like. Yu Darvish is obviously for the early slate. Laureano freaks me out a little bit because he was terrible in his first start of the season, so I'll probably stay away. But Gsellman looks solid. So just in summary, Bumgarner is going for $12,500. Gsellman at $7,000. Both provide great value, even with Bumgarner at this high price. Both are ace material. Low run totals by Vegas. The lowest run totals we mentioned was a Giants-Rockies game, but the second is definitely Mets and Marlins at 8. And again, Bumgarner's history against Colorado at AT&T Park is really strong. Weather should be cold in San Francisco in the low 50s with high air density index. It is an evening game. Anyone who's been in San Francisco in the spring or summer, night times are a little bit brutal. As Mark Twain said, coldest winter's night was a summer night in San Francisco. So there you go. Toronto Blue Jay stack. A lot of great options: Barney, Bautista, Carrera, Donaldson, Martin, Pilar, and Tulowitzki. Carrera hasn't started the last two games, so you may want to check the lineups, but his correlation is really strong with Donaldson, and I believe Tulowitzki. We'll have to look at the correlations in a sec. But the history against Orioles starting pitcher Kevin Gausman is really, really strong. Um, so we'll look at that. The Blue Jays offense is in a slump, but they are due to pop off. I mean, this is a really good offense the last two seasons. I don't think they should be playing this poorly for this long, so they are due to pop off. And again, we'll look at the correlations in a sec. But before we do that, Gausman's history against the Blue Jays is not great. I mean, not the biggest sample size, but Barney 4 for 8, Carrera 5 for 10. Those are both 500 batting averages. Donaldson, the best hitter in the Blue Jays, 6 for 18 with a homer and 4 RBIs. Martin 4 for 10, Pilar 5 for 12. Tulowitzki not bad, 2 for 8 with a homer and 2 RBIs. So there are definitely some really good options here. Bautista not the greatest, 1 for 15, so we may want to avoid him. Plus, when we look at the correlation with Bautista, it's negative correlation with some of the other guys, so we may want to avoid Bautista. But Donaldson has a very strong correlation with Carrera, probably one of the highest you can find on the ASA website, 0.41. And Carrera's correlation to Tulowitzki, pretty decent, 0.21. Donaldson in general is great with his cohorts with Tulowitzki, Pilar, and Martin. So if you can go with a Blue Jay stack, it would be wise to put Donaldson in there. And so that's pretty much going to cover who we like for today. So again, pitchers, Bumgarner and Giselman for the Mets, and of course Bumgarner's for the Giants, and then the Blue Jay stack would be a wise idea with a variety of combinations, and then throwing in some other players that you can squeeze in. All right, good luck to you.